Welcome, everyone, to A Haunting in Stratton, penned by Ryland Mason, narrated by me, Brian Shepard. Episode 6, The Family. Following the tunnel that led both Ryan and Bear to the family cemetery, it was Bear who noticed that the huge black iron doors to the Barton mausoleum were open. "No," Ryan said, as again he stood very close to Bear, who was stopped only a few feet from the building. "No." "You heard me." "No, I am not going in there, and neither are you. This night has been one disaster after another. There is no way of telling what's in there," Ryan answered. "We can always finish this another time. In fact, I agree 100%. I believe we have more than your average house haunting going on here." "So you're saying I have more going on here than you thought?" "Definitely. Yet I have a feeling I know who our friend Mr. is. More on that next time. Let's get back to the house and catch some sleep," Bear suggested, and Ryan agreed. This had the doors slamming closed. The doors closed so hard, Ryan was sure that everyone in town would have heard that. This had both moving a little faster towards the house. Getting back to the house would be a different matter, as the tunnel would be no use, as they were locked into the wine cellar, which meant the tunnel was out. "How are we supposed to get back into the house if I locked everything up?" Ryan asked, as they finally could see the house after marching through the woods and thick brush. "You have a house full of ghosts. I'm sure any one of them will open the door for us," Bear said, as he was trying to lighten the mood. Ryan was not in the mood. "All right, wise guy. Let's see." Ryan stopped just front of the basement door. "Molly, any chance you could open this door for us?" Ryan asked aloud, thinking he must look like a fool asking a ghost to open the door. Hearing the door slowly unlock had Ryan trying the handle and nudging the door open. Thank you?" Turning to Bear. "Nope, don't say anything. I'm going to bed. If you like, you can take the room across from me," Ryan said, as all he got was a smile and a nod. The house seemed to settle now that both Ryan and Bear were asleep. Bear choosing to stick it out in the guest room, as he was not sensing the young man when he walked into the bedroom. Not even Molly. It was eerily quiet. With windows that faced the back of the house, the sunlight had a harder time cutting through the trees, yet Ryan knew it was time to get up. It was nearly 9 a.m. He wondered if Bear was still sleeping, yet he pegged him as an early riser. Walking over to the bathroom, he tried the switch just for a laugh, as he was sure that the house was still without power after the storm they had last night. The light lit up the room, which had a smile on his face. Maybe today will be a great day after all. Now, if the power works, that would mean there would be hot water to take a nice shower, instead of a cold one. Showered, shaved, and finally dressed, after taking forever to decide on what to wear, he was ready to see what Bear was up to, if he was still here. Leaving his room, Ryan headed for the guest bedroom to check on him, yet the room was empty, his bags gone. Well, at least he made the bed. Bacon. Ryan could smell bacon coming from inside the house. The smell of bacon had him confused, as he did not have any bacon. This had him heading downstairs to scope out where it was coming from and why. Down to the kitchen he went. The smell of other yummy foods were hitting him as he got closer. He found the bacon, along with other delicious breakfast foods being cooked by Bear. Where did this all come from? I haven't done any grocery shopping yet, Ryan asked as his eyes watched as Bear was making pancakes. Nice, fluffy apple pancakes, to be more precise, which looked really good, along with scrambled eggs. Good morning to you, too. I figured after last night, waking up to a nice breakfast would do us good. I've been up since 6, so I snuck to town and raided Alice's store. I hope you don't mind, Bear said as he plated everything up and brought it out to the dining room. I was thinking that I would spend the day looking over stuff in the library. There has to be more information about this family that can help me figure out what in the world is going on here. Sounds like a great idea. I'm going to head back home to finish up some chores before the week starts. Maybe next weekend I could come back and see what you found, and maybe we can go from there. I'd love that. That, and I do have to get this house in order, as it is nothing but dust and cobwebs, he replied as he stuffed his face with pancakes. After Bear and Ryan cleaned up, Bear left to head home and Ryan headed off to the library. Being his favorite room, he felt comfortable, calm, unlike when he is in other areas of the house. Maybe Molly was in here reading a good book, as a book was laid out on the table in the middle of the room. When Ryan approached the table to look at what was on the pages, a family tree. The Barton family tree. So, it would seem they also listen in on people. Maybe if he asked nicely, they would pay his car payment for him. Hours and hours Ryan pored over this book, which contained just the information he needed. Someone did a fantastic job keeping records of literally everything that happened with this family. He was definitely learning a lot. It all starts with Benjamin Barton, originally from the small town of Warren, Rhode Island. Leaves home after school and starts his own shipping company out of Boston. His business flourished, which made him a rich man. Benjamin later courts and marries Wilhelmina. They have 2 children, Thomas and Mary. By the time Thomas was 21, he had married his wife, Sarah, who was 18 at the time. The same year, Mr. Barton dies, leaving Thomas the business and assets. His sister Mary married her husband John and moved away with his family to New York City. Thomas and Sarah had 3 children, Harold, James, and Molly. We know that Harold was left to run the business out of Boston, while Thomas and the rest moved to Stratton. Harold seems to stay in Boston and rarely ever visits his father, as through the years, shipping companies were picking up in business as the economy grew and the demand for more foreign goods expanded. The person he was more interested in was Molly. Molly was described as a young girl, long golden hair, wearing what Bear would describe as an Easter dress. He would be correct, considering pictures of her could be seen in the morning room after her death. Molly was born the 15th of November, 1864. She later died in 1877 at the age of just 13 in her sleep. Molly would be a victim of what we call AFib, or atrial fibrillation. Molly never met her middle sibling, James, as he was drafted and fought at Gettysburg. James was only 20 when he died in action in 1863. Ryan was now able to figure out who it was in uniform that gave Bear all that trouble. Thomas dies, leaving Sarah, who passes away of old age, yet not before Mary and her family come to take Barton Manor as their own. Mary had 2 children, David and Jane. It would be a distant relative of Jane's that would be the last to live in the home, and now it's Ryan's. The sound of someone knocking snapped him out of the family tree daze that he was in. Coming out of the library as the knocking began again, he opened the door to Gemma Mint, his realtor. "Hey, Gemma, nice to see you. What can I do for you?" "I would have called, yet my company is pressing me to finish this. Do you have a few minutes, as I have more paperwork for you to sign?" she said as she grabbed the thick yellow envelope out of her bag. "Sure. Come on in. Don't mind the place. Cleaning is slow." Not that the house was that bad, he thought, as he let her pass into the house. Gemma then followed him back into the library. "Have a seat," pointing to the armchairs in the front of the windows. It reminded Ryan of a cute, cozy reading corner. "So it would seem that there is another property connected to this one, which states when this house sold, the new owner also took ownership of the said second property. The property is free and clear of any mortgage, liens, possessions, or taxes owed. However, the property, like this one, has been empty for a few years." Whoa, wait a minute. If I had known about there being a second property, I would have not have agreed. I don't have the time to take care of 2 places. Look around, lady. This place is pretty bad all on its own, and now you're telling me I have another one? Where is this property? Newport. Newport? Like Newport, Massachusetts? He asked, 'cause there's no way she was thinking Rhode Island. Very funny. Rhode Island, silly. Wait, is there one in Mass? Right. Okay, so what? A small house that I can turn into a rental or an Airbnb? Perfect. Small? Oh, no, darling. This house is listed on Victoria Ave, which is down the street from the Vanderbilts. Is this a joke? Because I'm really not in the mood for it, Ryan said as he got up from the chair and began to pace. The happy smile that was on Gemma's face disappeared. No joke, Ryan. All the information is here in this packet. All I need from you is a signature to keep the town of Newport happy, along with my boss. Laying the papers out on the coffee table for him to look over. She placed a pen next to where he would sign. Sign for a house he knew nothing about. Well, now I have 2 houses. Great. I'll have to figure out a date to head down and scope it out, Ryan stated as he finished signing his name. Yeah, sounds like a plan. Here are the keys. Oh, and I hear it's haunted, she said as they made their way back to the front door. This was not news he wanted to hear. No surprise, he said as he opened the door for her. Both saying their goodbyes and thanking her for stopping by, Ryan just thought about what Bear would have to say about this. Maybe he would be interested in going with him to see the house. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Mostly my YouTube listeners, thank you very much. And everyone else, my family and friends, especially somebody from Rhode Island.